here we are on the banks of the River Thames. Harrods Depository is behind me. The listed Hammersmith Bridge behind me over there. And what I'm looking at is the site which is going to be a new riverside destination, a new piece of placemaking. This is going to be a new neighbourhood linking together the Riverside Studios site, which is on my left over here, down to towards Richard Rogers' office and the Riverside Cafe. There used to be a very small Riverside Walk. We've already expanded the Riverside Walk, as you can see today, as the first stage of the project to bring benefits to the community very early on in the project. It was a private site before, with an old distillery on it way back in the mid-1900s. Haig's Brewery was down here, and whiskey was being distilled, and I think a lot of jam was being made on the site. There used to be riverside warehouses, and of course it was generally landlocked with one or two small streets running down towards the river. So from being a site which has had a few little streets running down towards the river's edge in history, to being a site which was boarded up and vacant for many years, we're now creating a completely integrated and permeable site which is part of the town, part of the city, running down towards the river, with at least 40% of the land that's been acquired by St George will be totally open space, landscape space or pedestrian streets or soft landscaped areas down towards the river's edge. So giving back 40% of the site for public use and creating a collage of buildings. The first new community benefit to be delivered very early on in the project is this new Riverside Walk, providing a far higher quality of landscape space than there was. There was a very narrow route through before. This will run straight through into the scheme. You'll be able to wander through the landscaped area with the two pavilions in it, and then down the main boulevard towards Frank Banfield Park, and then through to Fulham Palace Road, Hammersmith Station, and all the facilities that lie within a 5-minute walk of the site.
I officially declare the river walk is open.
Fundamentally, Fulham Reach is about three main components that we design with: space, place, and life. With two pavilion buildings sitting within a landscape park, which will be open by day and by night and throughout the whole year. The Distillery Wharf building with two warehouse buildings, strong brickwork, punched holes, the loading bays used as the balconies for the new living rooms. The pontoon, which will service the new boating club and will give access to the river for rowing eights. The architectural language will vary from the strong brickwork building to the distillery, the lightweight glass and steel pavilions sitting in landscape, through to three-storey crescent of housing mirroring the scale of Winslow Road and the housing, Edwardian housing that generally lines the back inland area of the River Thames. This is Distillery Wharf, the first building to be rising out of the ground, with strong reference to the heritage of the site, where the old distillery buildings used to be tight up against the river's edge, providing a very industrial background to the whole this side of the river. The two buildings, the two main wings, are load-bearing brickwork with a strong vertical rhythm, with the bays for the old loading bays becoming the balconies for the living rooms. The two buildings are then linked by a more modern building of stone construction, rising between them and providing the main entrance to the building from the street side. We have a raised podium at ground floor level, providing a communal landscape garden with wonderful views out over the River Thames, looking down towards the pontoon, where you'll be able to see the rowing eights coming out from the boating club that will be provided at the base of the building. And there'll be other mixed uses, cafes and restaurants, lining and small business units lining the outside edges of the site on its public side, and with a completely secure by design and protected beautiful environment for residents to share overlooking the River Thames. Behind me, London's new riverside address, Fulham Reach, on the banks of the River Thames here in Hammersmith and Fulham.